Hey everyone, so I've been getting a lot of phone calls, especially recently. People are panicked, kind of wondering what's going on. They're reading these headlines and thinking the market's crashed and things aren't going to look so great. Interest rates are going up, so cost of borrowing is going up, which means cost of living is going up. Now, I've got a couple of things in terms of what I'm seeing. So first and foremost, if you're in the market now and you're looking to buy, if you're purchasing a home that you're going to move into, you've got to weigh that against renting. So you look at what a rental prospect might cost you versus purchasing, and you got to run the numbers and really figure out what makes sense. The problem with renting is that you can get evicted. There are reasons that a landlord can require vacant possession, and it means that you lose control over the property. On the flip side, if your only option is to rent, then it is what it is. You have to kind of work with those circumstances. And on the flip side, a lot of sellers are contacting me saying that if the rates go up and they keep going up the way they are, I can't afford to stay in the place I'm in. And I have to ask, in a situation like that, you have to ask yourself, well, what's the alternative? If you're a family of 4 or a family of 6 and you sell your property and you end up renting, what is that going to cost you? And if you run the numbers, more often than not, you're actually going to end up paying more in rent, which is all garbage. You're paying somebody else's mortgage versus owning a property where at least a portion of your mortgage is going down into the principal and you're getting even more bit appreciation. In a bad market, you're still usually better off. Now, I'll give you a real example. So I've had a penthouse unit listed in downtown core. It's been over 60 days. We've had over 40 showings. We've done open houses week after week. People love the property, but they're kind of worried right now. And we ended up having a conversation with the owner. We ended up listing the property for lease just 48 hours ago. In the last 48 hours, we've had over 20 showings. We've had 2 offers, 1 verbal offer, and we've actually ended up leasing the property firm over asking in a matter of 48 hours. On a property that sat on the market for over 60 days, which would have in a normal situation sold very quickly. And so you look at this and the owner, when we were discussing this, you look at, the circumstances, the owner wanted to sell, but if he got enough rent, it made a lot of sense for him to keep it. Now, what's really interesting about this particular scenario is that the people that ended up renting the unit ended up selling their home in Markham and then ended up renting this property because they're worried about what's going to happen. So when costs are going up, interest rates are going up, we've got inflation, and you've got a recession. So what is a recession? A recession is technically 2 periods of decline. So we've got 2 quarters which are declining from an economic standpoint. That's what you consider to be a recession. And so you've got people that are panicked. And what's happening is that when people aren't looking at real estate from a purchase and sale perspective, it only adds pressure to the rental market. So I guess my advice at this point is that you've really got to carefully consider your options. If you're an owner, run the math. Figure out what you're actually paying in terms of principal, interest. Look at the appreciation, if any. Look at your situation and assess, does it actually make sense for you to go backwards and rent in a situation like that? Or is it something that you really need to do? If you really need to sell, you need to sell. It is what it is. But if you can afford to keep that property, you're probably going to be better off than you are if you're going to end up renting alternatively. Okay? And then if you're buying to flip, probably not a great idea. I've never been an agent that represents people that do, quick sales or short sales or flip properties because there's a lot of risk in that. The people I tend to represent are people that are long-term. They're buying a property today. They're going to own it for the next 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. And what we've seen historically with real estate is even when things go down, you look at 2017, things end up being just fine in the long run because you've got your principal, you've got your appreciation, you've got property that you can live in at the very least. Nobody can force you out of that property. You've got no landlord that can kick you out. So you've really got to assess it. And if you need to understand what's happening with your property, if you need to understand what's happening with your portfolio, what's happening in your specific neighborhood, because you can't paint the entire province or country or GTA even with the same paintbrush. They're all unique, they're all individual. You have to really carefully consider what's what. If you need any sort of assistance understanding what's happening with your real estate, whether you're buying, selling, or renting, connect with me or one of my team members. Got over 250 agents ready to help you at any given time. Give me a call. Ricky Rathor here again, broker owner at Remax Metropolis, real estate lawyer, Rathor Big Professional Corporation. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.